Most competitive research is just screenshots and vibes. Someone pulls up a competitor's website, the room nods, and suddenly it's on the roadmap. Nobody used the product and nobody knows where it falls apart. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you how to actually break a competitor's product down before your next planning meeting. It does not require a designer, a research team, and nor a paid tool subscription. Just a browser and 15 minutes. In most planning meetings, someone pulls up a competitor's marketing page, points to a feature and says, we should do something like that. The whole conversation is about a screenshot. And then you ship a version of that feature and 6 weeks later it lands flat because you copied the surface level and not the thinking behind it. Most competitive analysis does not give you a UX level insight. The actual flows, friction, or the edge cases they ignored. That is a gap, and filling it before the planning is the thing that makes you look like most prepared person in the room when you hold a meeting. The workflow I'm going to show you has 3 steps: visual capture, UX review, and gap mapping. Each one takes a few minutes and together they give you something you can actually present. One thing before we get into this, I'll be using Figure for the analysis layer. Not because it's the only way to do this, but because it's genuinely the fastest. Figure is an AI design platform built for product teams who need real UX thinking, not generic AI outputs. We will be looking at the onboarding flows of Canva and Figma, and I'll explain what is actually doing at each step. So step 1 is capturing the competitor's product as Figure actually sees it. Not just a screenshot, not a description. Figure has a Chrome extension. You go to the live app or the product and click extension, capture the real HTML structure of the page with actual component hierarchy, layout patterns, spacing relationships. You can capture individual screens, selected sections, or run it across multiple competitors' products in a single session. So if you're doing a two-way competitive comparison like I am with Figma and Canva's onboarding, you can capture all 3, drop them in the same Figure canvas, and work on all of it together. This is the part most PMs skip. They paste a URL, they get some marketing copy and call it research. What you're doing here is giving the AI the actual product to look at, not a description of it. Now you have the captures in Figure, and here's where it gets useful. You ask Figure to review the design. Compare the onboarding flows. What are the top UX issues? What would a non-technical user struggle with? What edge cases are not handled? Figure's review is grounded in over 200,000 UX patterns. So it's not just flagging aesthetic preferences, it's catching real usability problems. And here's what came back. And this is where it gets genuinely interesting. On Figma, the dashboard drops you into a file browser. There's a list of files: FigJam Basics, Figma Basics, and an AI prompt bar that says, describe your idea and make it come to life. The placeholder text reads, build a loop-based music creation tool. That's the first thing a new user sees, and it's asking them to articulate a design idea in natural language before they've made anything, before they know what Figma can do. The user who most need onboarding help are the exact users least equipped to answer that prompt. That's a cold start problem in some way. There's also no role or skill profiling. Figma shows the same interface to a senior product designer who switched from Sketch and a marketing manager who has never opened up a design tool. The tooltip tool is there, but it's opt-in and dismissible. And once you dismiss it, there's no way back in. And then there's the product fragmentation problem. The top navbar has 6 products. A new user has to figure out which one they need before they've learned what any of them can do. That's a platform navigation problem which wasn't covered in the onboarding flow. Canva is better at getting users to the first win fast. Category first navigation, templates you can click immediately, a search bar that says, what would you like to create? It respects that the user has an intent and just needs a door. But Canva has its own problems. The create a design model has 12 content types in the sidebar. Quick actions with AI features, magic layers, Canva code, magic write, all labeled new with sort of no explanations of what they do. And it's a lot of doors at once. For a first-time user, that's not exciting, it's just loud. And here's the one I found genuinely interesting. There's a start your trial at $0 banner running persistently throughout the entire onboarding. The user has not discovered what the product does yet, and they haven't hit a paywall. but they're already being asked to make a conversion decision. That's upgrade friction inserted into trust building phase before trust exists. So here's the thing about their analysis. You're not just cataloging their weaknesses. Every issue figure surfaced on Figma and Canva is a question you should be asking about your own product right now. Do you have a cold start problem? Is your first screen a list of things the user didn't create? The breakdown of a competitor's product is only useful if it makes you look harder at yours. That's the point. The third step is where this turns into something you can actually bring into a meeting. Pull in your own product, Figma files, screen recordings, or another Chrome capture and ask Figure to compare. What patterns are they using that we are not? What are we making the same mistakes? What are they doing that should be done in a better way? From Figma Canva breakdown, here are 3 things I'd bring into planning. 1. Canva wins on time to first value because it's template first and it solves the sort of blank canvas problem. But if your product drops users onto an empty state, that's the same problem. Fix the first screen before you build the next feature. Second, Figma's role profiling gap might be costing them. Showing the same onboarding to a power user versus a first-time user, a 3-question flow at sign up, who are you, what are you trying to do, and how experienced are you, changes the entire first session. And third, Canva's persistent upgrade prompt during onboarding is a mistake worth not repeating. You're asking for commitment before you've delivered the value. 3 specific actionable roadmap inputs from a 15-minute breakdown. Here's what changes when you do this. The planning conversation shifts from should we build this feature to here's why their version of this feature has a usability problem. And here's the gap it represents that we could actually close. It's specific, it's grounded, and it's hard to argue with. Try this on your competitor before your next planning meeting. Pick the most important user flow, onboarding, checkout, core actions, capture it, run the review, and map the gaps. It takes about 15 minutes and you'll have something concrete to bring in. Link for Figure is in the description and it's free to start. And by the way, one more thing. In the next video, I'm going to take this exact workflow and flip it. Instead of analyzing a competitor's product, we're going to point it at your own. Full UX audit on a live features, no designer needed. That one's worth watching before your next design handoff. If this was useful, subscribe and see you in the next one.